Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today things are getting real with my very first IUI cycle. If you're new here, my name is Kaitlyn. I'm 35 years old, living in Maryland, and I am on a journey to becoming a single mom by choice. I did an egg freezing cycle a few months back. I just wanted to do an egg retrieval to save some eggs for a second child in the future, whether that be with donor sperm or with a partner. Wanted to really preserve my fertility at 34 years old for the future, but also potentially for eggs to use if my IUI cycles don't work. The reason I chose to use IUI to go down this path was because I am 35. I'm not extremely old. I say old, but that's like old for pregnancy, I guess, in some ways, but people are having kids later and later in life now. I have no known fertility issues. I just unfortunately have not found the person to spend the rest of my life with and to have a family with. So because of that, I thought that I could let go of some of the control that IVF does give you and try conceiving with IUIs from a financial standpoint. It made more sense, but also just because I don't have any known fertility issues. So with that being said, I also opted to do a natural cycle IUI with a trigger shot. Doing this solo is a large undertaking as it is, and I want to minimize any risk that I have of twins. Now, I know that's always a possibility. Sometimes you do ovulate 2 eggs. Sometimes the egg splits. So you really can't control everything. But I wanted to control that possibility as much as I could, especially where I've never been pregnant. I've never tried to get pregnant. I just didn't know what that looked like. So I figured for my very first IUI cycle, let's try a natural cycle and see what happens and see what my body does. And I think even if this one does not work and I move on to a second cycle, I will still do another natural cycle. And then maybe try something medicated for round 3 or 4. I bought enough vials to do 4 IUIs and 1 round of IVF. So I have options as things progress, work or don't work. We'll take it one day at a time and one cycle at a time. So this week I have been in the middle of my monitoring appointments. So they bring you in on day 3 and do blood work and ultrasound. And then they brought me back in on day 10. Day 10, I had a follicle that was about 12 to 13 millimeters. My LH was 4.4. Now with an IUI, they really want your follicle size to be between 18 and 22 millimeters. They want your lining over 8 millimeters and your LH to be at 13. So day 10, again, I was at 12 or 13 millimeters for my follicle size. I was at a 4.4 LH and my lining was at 7 millimeters. Obviously, at that point, I wasn't close to ovulation, so they brought me in 2 days later on day 12, which was this past Saturday. At that point, my follicle had grown to 17.4 millimeters, so that was awesome growth. My LH increased to 8.8, and my lining was over 8 millimeters. Because I was getting close to that 18, they brought me back in today. My follicle had finally reached 18 millimeters. My lining was actually 14 millimeters today, and things were just really looking great. I'm still waiting on my LH levels and blood work to come back, which hopefully I'll have that this afternoon. And at that point, I'll know if I'm doing a trigger tonight or if I'm going back in tomorrow for additional monitoring. I do still think that the IUI will likely be on Tuesday or Wednesday this week, so that's very exciting. Now, I really wanted to make it a day. I really wanted to make it a day of self-love and just to process everything. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. I have a very busy work week, and so in some ways that's good because it's going to keep me busy and not stressing out over anything. But in some ways, I really wanted it to be just a very special day to take some time and really process everything. I am feeling really good and I'm feeling very excited. I think the closer it gets, the more excited I am, which is definitely giving me that feeling like I am ready and I'm prepared for this. And I'm really nervous for it not to work because I know I'm going to be extremely disappointed. I was supposed to do my first cycle in May. However, my April was just extremely busy and chaotic in life, and I really just felt like I needed May to focus on myself and take time to do everything that I wanted to do before trying and going down this path. So I took May and focused on myself. But on day 3 of that cycle, when I was supposed to go in for my monitoring and blood work and ultrasounds, I immediately felt this regret and sadness that I was missing out and that I was ready. So that gave me a lot of information that I am more ready than I thought I was. I don't know if in this journey you ever feel 100% ready, and I think that that's okay. I don't think that even if you're in a partnered relationship, you ever necessarily feel like 100%. This is so ready, we are so prepared. I think everyone has those feelings, and I think that's okay. I know I'm ready. I know I'm prepared. I know that I can handle it. But I could make a very strong argument one way or another to wait and press pause or to press go. And that's ultimately why I felt like I needed to jump in and do my first cycle and just get even more information. If I am pregnant, I know I'm more than capable of handling it, and I'm so excited to meet the little one and to share that with my family. My parents have been so supportive, and they are so excited. I think they're still a little shocked that it's actually getting real, but I think that's normal as well. And I just couldn't be more excited to see how the next few weeks play out. The 2-week wait is going to be really hard, and I'm trying to keep myself busy, stay around friends, lean on my support system. I have friends here that have been so supportive. I've met amazing people through the Single Moms by Choice community, whether that be different community groups or local DMV Facebook groups. So it's just been really, really positive and very exciting, and I'm excited to see what the next chapter holds. But so far, that is the update. Stay tuned. I'm going to bring you along for my first IUI, which will be likely in a few days. So I'll probably will post that video next weekend. But that's the update, and look forward to sharing more with you. Bye.